Good evening. It's Susie with the Speckled Loon. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I went early just a few minutes, or I went live just a few minutes early so we can make sure that everything is working and you can hear me. I'm hoping that you can. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comment box and I'll either get back to you while the live is on and answer you live, or I will answer you afterwards. I don't have anyone monitoring the comments for me, so I'm doing that on my own. I've got my water, some caffeine in my Diet Coke here, and we are going to be crafting this fun little beach decor set, and I'll talk to you all about that and our subscription box when we are officially live here in a couple minutes. If there's anybody out there, please tell me where you're watching from and coming in from. I have been going live all week to promote our subscription box that we are launching on Monday. And the link for the waitlist for that subscription box is in the description box below this video. So if you're interested, you can get on the waitlist. And when you join the waitlist, you have the chance to become a founding member and you get 1 day early access to the box. It will launch to the waitlist on Sunday. And if nobody else, if they don't all sell out to the waitlist, then it'll be open to the general public on Monday. So good evening. So this is my first time doing a crafting session live on YouTube. I have done a few things live this week. I did an unboxing over on the Speckled Loon Facebook channel. You can go check that out. That was from Monday. On Tuesday, we went live again on Facebook and made the base pieces for our from our subscription box. And yesterday, I went live on Instagram and did the honey bee decor that fits into here. So that is what we've been doing. And then tomorrow, I am going live on Facebook one more time, and I will be doing the lemon lime decor that goes in these pieces. So it is almost 7 and time to get going. I hope everyone's having a great week and a nice, enjoying, I guess it's almost summer now. I am coming to you from North Dakota where we had the world's longest winter. It was literally 6 months long, but it's over now. 3 weeks ago, we still had snow, but that's all gone. And earlier this week, we were in the 80s. Today's a bit cooler, but my husband went and picked up the boat today, so I feel like summer's officially here. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. Welcome. My name is Susie. I am the owner of the Speckled Loon, and we are soon to be rolling out our subscription box. Our subscription box is a quarterly box, and I'm going to show you a little bit about it here in a minute, but it's got 3 base pieces. The base pieces are this little market cart, this round frame that holds a round sign, and then this interchangeable garland that has a little clasp on it, and it clasps on 3 different types of garlands. There are 3 different themes to this kit. There is a beach decor theme, there is a lemon lime decor theme, and then there is a honeybee decor theme. And each of these tags on the garland comes with special beads, and it's reversible. I'll just quickly pick this up that I knocked over. My bad. It wouldn't be a live crafting session with me without a disaster. So just warning you. All right. So I hope you're having a great evening. It is Thursday, May 18th, 2023. And we are rolling this out to the general public on the 22nd. If you want to get early access, there is a wait list, and the link to that is in the description box. And if you are on the wait list, you will have access to order this on the 21st. We have a limited amount of boxes available. And since this is my first subscription box, I am just taking a few for the first run, and then we'll roll out more every quarter. But what we are going to be working on tonight is this fun beach decor. This little insert right here in the window is a little magnet on the back, and that is a beach ball. We'll be making that. We'll be making these 3 little things inside the cart, the sunshine, the little mug, and the little flip-flops. We're going to be making this little banner that hangs in the front. If it looks backwards to you, it says Hello Summer on it. Then we will be making this little beach ball insert that just goes right inside this round frame. And the little stand comes with the set. And then our interchangeable garland, like I showed you before, has got this little lobster clasp right here. And we'll be making this tag with the sun on one side, and then it says Welcome Summer on the other, and it's got these cute ribbon and these little beads with a flip-flop. And that's what we're going to be crafting with today. We're going to be using items that come in the kit. And your kit comes with everything but the paint, basically. And it does come with this little toolkit with these little sponges for painting, some Q-tips and toothpicks for cleanup. It comes with a tube of gel super glue as well. I am not going to use that gel super glue because this is part of a kit and I don't want to open it up. I've got my own glue I'm using. The glue I'm using is this Star Bond Thick, but it's a super glue, same thing, and it's got this fine applicator tip. The gel super glue you get is going to have a fine applicator tip as well. So, and then if you need super fine application, you can just put a little drop on the end of a toothpick and get it that way. This kit comes with unfinished projects, and you will add your own paint. And there's scored lines, so you know where to place like these little sunglasses in the mouth, that type of thing. And some of the pieces that are super tiny already have adhesive backing on them. So we try to make it as easy as possible for you to put your own creative spin on it and finish it and get your kit up and displayed. Each quarter, we will have a seasonal kit. This is a summer one. Basically, it's shipping out late May, early June. So it'll be a June, July, August kit. The next one will ship out late August, and it will be a fall theme kit. The other one will ship out late November, which will be a winter theme kit, and so on and so on. Basically, every 90 days, there's a new kit at your door. And this is our first subscription box. We're really excited about it. I've done DIY decor kits for Tiered Tray Decor in the past. They were just a monthly kit and not a subscription, but the same people were buying them every month. So I thought, well, we might as well just up our game, make it quarterly. It's easier to work with when it's quarterly for me, time-wise, because I do craft fairs, that type of thing. So without further ado, we're going to put this stuff up. I'll talk about the box. I'll just show you the inside of the box quick, and then we are going to get crafting. But I'm going to just turn around and put this on my little shelf back here and get it out of the way. And we've kind of got it in the background for some inspiration. There. Whoops. Oh, for heaven's sake. I am clumsy tonight. There we go. All right, that's good how it is. And I'm going to put this away. I'll lift this up just a little bit so you can kind of see the box. This is our subscription box. On the front, it's got a UPC code that's going to take you to the YouTube instructions. I've got a full tutorial out on YouTube. It's got our logo, the speckled balloon on the front. And you open it up. It's got a playlist you can scan. Again, another large logo to scan our instructions. And inside is going to be a thank you note and all your projects packed away. I'm going to maybe do another unboxing of this, probably on YouTube before we launch, just so it's one more place for people to see. And I am just going to set this aside right now, and then we are going to move our camera to the overhead position and start crafting. I hope everybody's ready to craft away with us. I've got my supplies ready to go. I've pre-painted a few objects ahead of time, so we're not watching paint dry and waiting for paint to dry. This way we can move through our projects quickly and keep things going. So I'm going to take the camera, and don't get dizzy here. I'm going to just pick you up for a minute. And I'm going to put you on my fancy dancy little overhead holder here and get rid of this keyboard. and move you more this direction. All right. And move my computer back just a little bit. There we go. Get the cord out of the way. I think we're good. Okay. And we got a little shadow here, but I think, oh, that's from my computer. There. Just get rid of that. Okay. I think that's good. Straighten this out. Okay. So we are going to, I'm going to do a couple things from scratch, and then I'm going to work with a couple things that are pre-painted. One of the first things I'm going to just show you is, these are the little flip-flops. This is the finished version of them. Okay. And it's 2 layers. It's the base and the overlay. And they are cut and engineered to fit perfectly together, as you can see. This is how your projects come. They come unfinished like this. They're cut on my laser, and they fit together precisely like that. Okay. And you can paint these several different ways. You can paint these with markers. Paint markers is what I use. You can paint these also with just regular chalk paint. And we are going to paint this base with chalk paint, and we are going to paint the overlay with a white marker. The fun thing about this kit is you get a white marker and a black marker and a tweezer as a bonus in this kit. Every kit is going to have either a crafting tool or a piece of extra decor or something that goes with the kit as a bonus. This is our special sign-on bonus for the first kit, this black and white Arteza oil-based marker. They're really good quality. They give you great coverage, and you'll be able to use them on all your future kits. And it also comes with these tweezers because the markers have 2 ends, and I'll show you later. I'll flip it back and forth between the ends, so you get either a fine tip or like a chisel bullet tip. So I'm going to just set those there. I'm going to need those later anyway. We're going to use our white marker. We're going to use also this color of paint. It's a Waverly chalk paint from Walmart, and the shade of it is called Agave. I'll turn it this way if that's easier for you. I see that it is backwards for you though, so it doesn't really matter. So when I work with paint and I just need a little bit, I just give it a good shake so I get a little, or turn it upside down so I get a little bit on the lid. And I just work with that little bit of paint in the lid. The other thing I like to do with my teeny tiny pieces is take a little bit of painter's tape and just stick it to my paper plate. And I do like to just kind of sort my projects out and keep them on a paper plate. It's just easier for me. I'm going to do the same thing with my little overlay as well. I'm just going to get a piece of tape ready. And when I do paint, I like to kind of stick things out of the way and do one thing at a time so I don't get paint on something I don't need. Now, these are the sponges. You get 4 of these with your kit. The nice thing about these is they are washable and reusable, but also if the paint gets dry, you can just take your scissors and snip it off. The other thing you will need is a pair of scissors, a good sharp pair of scissors to cut your ribbon. But other than that, you don't need a whole lot to complete our kits. I try to make them as complete as possible. I got a little too much paint on there. But to paint these, when I'm using the sponge, I like to kind of go in the middle and then go out toward the edges. So that way I don't get a lot of paint on the sides of my project. I like to keep that, everything comes with this dark edge. I like to keep that dark edge. I don't like, it looks sloppy when paint gets over it. So I just go ahead. Now this blue happens to cover really well. So we are probably only going to need 1 coat of this blue. The nice thing about the paper plate too is you can kind of just rotate your project around on the plate, get that done. And you can see I've kept the nice clean edge on that. And I'm going to just set my sponge here for now. I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to start working on these. This is where I am going to use this marker. This is the marker that comes with your kit as a bonus. I'm going to pull that off, and I'm going to start coloring that in. As you can see, you get some nice coverage. And same thing, if I were to use a paintbrush or sponge on this, it would be a little more difficult to paint. The other way you could paint this very neatly would be is if you had white paint, and I do give you a few of these Q-tips with the flat end, and you can just kind of go around like that with the Q-tip. But the markers are kind of the way to go here. And I'll lift this up so you can kind of see the nice coverage that you do get on it. Again, this is what our end project is going to look like when we glue them together. You see me lifting this up to my eyes to get a better view. That's because I have not the greatest vision in the world, super thick glasses, and I'm extremely nearsighted. So you will see me do that and look at things up close from time to time. Always been nearsighted and had bad vision. So, all right, I'm trying really hard not to get paint on the edges or on the inside, but I'm going to just take this up to myself here and give it a good look. Probably I'm going to need a second coat of that white, but we'll just take a look. Sometimes it just looks uneven at first, and you can go around it, and then it dries even. So I'm going to just put the lid back on my marker. I might need this sponge later. I'll set that aside for now. And I'm going to set this project aside. And we are going to get started on the next one. I will show you too, in addition to our YouTube instructions, there is a full booklet of instructions that comes as well. And you can see each project has its own little instructions. It's kind of a nice inventory list because there's so many parts, pieces and parts to all the projects. And it's kind of nice to get the printed instruction as well. Most people prefer the YouTube instructions, but I do have those. And eventually, if people don't use them and they just need it for an inventory list, it won't be so detailed. But the instructions are included because when you get a kit with over 20 projects, you want to know how to use them. So let's get our next project going. The next project is our little insert for that window that goes up in the market cart. So it also comes with, and I don't know if I have them with me, a little magnet that goes on the back. If not, I'll just put it in there without the magnet and you can kind of see. But what it is the unfinished project looks like this. It's a little beach ball, and then it has scored lines where you can color in the different colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to color this overlay white again with our white marker. And I've already went ahead, and this is the finished one with the magnet. I've already went ahead and done one coat of just kind of a yellowy orange on this one. I'm going to make this one orange and yellow, I think, instead of orange and blue. And just because I want to have a different look to it. But you can see those scored lines are there, so I can see where to color in here and here with my yellow marker. And then this, after I paint it white, is going to fit right over there. And then you'll have that division of your colors. So I'm going to take my tape again and get a couple pieces going. Set my things that I'm not going to touch aside. And since we're just working with markers, and a lot of these pieces are small, so your projects will go fairly quickly. You won't have to spend a ton of time on them. So there's that. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and do our overlay first. That way, if I have to come back and do a second coat on it, it'll probably be dry by the time I have the ball done. Now, if I had gotten globs of paint in that little circle there, I could take a Q-tip or whatever to dig it out to keep that definition of the line. Same thing. These scored lines are going to get covered up, but if I wanted to keep them crisp, I could just drag a toothpick through them. But they're just kind of there as a guide, so now I know where to go with my yellow. So I'm going to take out this Bumblebee yellow that I have been using, and I am going to switch that marker tip. Again, these are Arteza markers, and these come in a pack of 40 different colors, which is really nice. And then you do get a tweezer with them to change. So I'm going to just kind of stay within this line right here, and you can see, I'll go up close. This is going to be a little bit of a brighter yellow. So this will be a yellow and an orange beach ball. Sometimes when you're working with markers and things in sections, it's easier to just paint everything one color first and then come back with your lighter color or darker color over the other one. So I'm just going to turn this around here. And I'm just going in super close to the line at first. And if I get a little over, it's not a huge deal because of my overlay. It will cover that up, those lines. That's what it's designed to do. So if I went just like a little bit over, it's not a huge deal. I'm just going to kind of get that in nice and thick so we can have a good definition. Now you can see those two shades, one of yellow and one of orange. And when I am done with this, if you're going to put the lid on the marker, it doesn't like when the fine point is sticking out. So I am just going to turn it over, tap it back down, push it down, and then it is ready to be closed. And I'm going to do my second coat on my white here, and then we're going to set this aside and let this dry. Okay, so that is the two pieces, and we'll assemble that after it's dry. I'm going to go back to our first project here. I'm going to just see if my overlay is dry. It's going to need a second coat, so we'll do that. And you can see when you do the second coat, it really does even things out quite a bit. Makes things look nicer, just like a second coat on your walls, right? Again, if you're having any issues hearing me or anything like that, just go ahead and leave a comment. I'll see if I can fix it. The tech part of YouTube is new to me, so I'm hoping we are going live and people will see. Okay, so there's that. And then as soon as that's dry, we can put that together. Set that aside. And the next thing we are going to work on is this little banner that's going to hang off the front of the cart. That comes with these two little hooks that are pre-finished white. It comes with this rainbow banner base with the scored lines. So when we go into color our rainbow, we know exactly where to color. Then it comes with these two words, hello and summer. And I'll just turn them around so you can see how cute they are. And the hello and summer both have adhesive backing on them. So when we put them on the project, I'll just peel this off and then they just stick right down. And that's kind of nice. You don't have to glue them together because they're so skinny and little that it's easier not to have to use the glue. But I have went ahead and with this base, I have took a sponge and I did one coat of white and then I drug my toothpick through those lines so that they are nice and crisp. So basically I had a sponge with white. I went all over it and then I drug my toothpick through. The reason I pre-paint pieces, pardon my reach here. The reason I pre-paint pieces is so the video will move along and we're not waiting for paint to dry. But you can see how a toothpick goes right in that groove and you just drag it through and you get that nice crisp line. Couple of projects on this kit have shiplap lines, and it's the same principle. So what I'm going to do on here is I'll just set this one aside. We do not need this paint, so I'm going to set that out of the way so I don't knock it over, because that is a probability. But I'm just going to put see how nice that finished one is. I am going to go ahead and do a purple marker up here and an orange marker in here. And then I'm going to use a yellow marker on the summer and a blue marker on the word hello. And I'm going to just set that aside so we have that for reference. And these do not need to be in the way. We'll go to work on our rainbow first. Again, I'll take a little piece of painter's tape or two. There we go. Make my little loops. Go, and then it's secure in place and it's easier to work with. I have pre-picked out my colors over here. I'm going to again be using this yellow and this purple. Again, it's kind of got a little bit of a small area to work with, so I'm going to go back and again change out the tip on this marker. And again, the brand on this is Arteza, A-R-T-E-Z-A. If I remember, I will go back after this live and I will put a link in there. But you can find them on Amazon or just directly from the company, Arteza, ARTEZA.com. And what I am working with is a pack of 40 colored acrylic markers. And 40 colors gets you some metallics, your basics, primaries, a couple different shades of every color. And it kind of just makes it super easy to work with these kits and these smaller things that you want to craft with, instead of having to, I am not the steadiest of hands with a paintbrush. And if you do not have a steady hand, markers are your friend. I'm just getting as close to that line as possible. I'll bring it up close to my eyes here in a minute. The reason I paint this white first, this is going to stay white here. For your lighter colors, if you do a base of white first, it does make your colors pop a little better. Okay. So there's our purple. I'm just going to bring it close to my eyes to make sure I haven't missed any spots. Looking pretty good. Okay. And I won't be using this again for a little while, so I am going to go ahead, change out the tip, put that back, and do the cap. Okay. And if you are joining us, please tell us your name, where you're coming from. That would be great. I see we got a couple people with us tonight, and that's wonderful. I wasn't expecting to have a huge crowd on here because this is literally the first time, we're going to use orange, the first time I have gone live on YouTube with a crafting session. So I do thank you for tuning in and joining us. It's great to have that support, but if nobody watches right away, there's always the replay, and that one got away from me. And then you can pause it, rewind it, etc. Okay, here we've got the tip of the orange. And again, I'm just getting as close to that line as possible. If I get a little bit in it, it's not a huge deal. It kind of seeps right in there. And when you're ready, kind of fill in. Go in close here. So I don't know if I believe I did mention I'm coming to you from North Dakota. That is where I'm based out of. The name of my business is called The Speckled Loon because we are right on the North Dakota-Minnesota border. And for about 9 years, my husband and I had a very small lake property. We sold it last year, but it was full of loons on the lake in Minnesota, and that is the state bird there. And I love taking pictures of them. And I had a real good picture of a loon that I took one time. And I turned that into the logo for my business and call myself the Speckled Loon because I have an affinity for loons. And that is the story behind the name of my business. And how I got started was when we bought that little lake property, it was just a mobile home. And it was old and outdated. It had not been touched for about 40 years. And we refurbished it from head to toe, front to back, I guess you could say. And then I went ahead and made all the decor. I made some fun lake signs and stuff for it. And that is how I kind of got my start. People saw those items, they liked them and wanted them. And that's what I started making. And that's how I got the start in my business. So, and it was called something different at first. It was called Susie B's Crafty Cabin Designs. And that was too long of a name. And I decided I'm just going to use the Speckled Loon. I like the loons and I like that name. And it just kind of stuck after that. Okay, we're going to do our words. One is going to be in yellow. One's going to be in blue. This is the blue I'm using. The blue I'm using is called fluorescent blue. And this is, again, that bumblebee yellow. I can leave the big tip on it and just go over the word. Just like that. And you can see why these markers just make it super quick. To try to do this with paint would kind of be a pain. So I do say that if you want to subscribe to our box, you might want to think about investing in a set of paint markers. There are several brands. I'm, again, using Arteza, but there's ones called Copic. There's one called Posca, P-O-S-C-A. And then there's ones you can just get at the craft store, and they're all have their different, there's ones that are better and ones that aren't. But if you just want to get one color at a time and you go use your craft store coupons, that would be great. Buy it kit by kit. If you want to get several, then like I said, that set is a good deal. And then the other day, for the fun of it, I was browsing on that new website called Temu, Temu.com. And they had, it's kind of like Alibaba, but they had a ton of paint marker sets. I have not tried them, but they were very affordable. So if you're looking to not have to spend too much money, that would be an alternative for you. Okay, I was just holding that up to my eyes to make sure that I got everything. I think we're good. So I'm going to set that aside. And then I'm going to close this up, and I'm going to do my blue on my hello. And we'll set that aside and let that puppy dry. All right. And this blue, fluorescent blue, is quite pretty. Kind of beachy look to it. I kind of like it. All right. So we're going to set this aside and let this project dry. Okay, so we've worked on 3 things so far. Project number 4 is our bigger beach ball. All right, we've got things scattered all over. Okay, this is our bigger beach ball. So that's what's going to go in that circle frame. And unfinished, that's what this looks familiar, right? It's just like that beach ball that we did the first project, but that one was way smaller. This is just a little bit bigger. So to move things along here, I have already pre-painted this white. Okay. And we're going to go ahead again and do this in our yellow. This one's 2 shades of blue, but we're going to go ahead and do this one yellow and orange. So we will keep these two sides orange, and we'll do the yellow in here, and we'll just use our marker again. I think I'll do that side. So we'll set that aside, and we're going to set this aside because that's done already. And we're going to come in here, flip our marker around again. Okay. Sorry if I'm like a broken record tonight. All right. So if you're here and are tuned in, feel free to pop in the chat where you're coming in from. That is absolutely fine. I love to see where people come from and find us, etc., etc. If you are interested, we are crafting items from our summer DIY decor kit from our quarterly subscription box. And it's coming out and is going to be available to the public for purchase and sign up for our first issue beginning next on Monday to the general public. If you want early access Sunday, you can sign up for our wait list, and that is in the description box. Oh, Karen from Grand Washington's here. Hello, Karen. Super secret is Karen is my sister. She's also one of my best customers, and she was one of my kit testers. She got an early kit because I knew she could keep it a secret, and I knew that she would give me her feedback because she's done most of my kits in the past. And I live in North Dakota and she's in Washington, and this is kind of our crafty connection that we like to have. She's also a really good knitter. I knit a little bit, but she's a really good knitter. So hello, Karen. Thanks for tuning in. Message the rest of the family and have them tune in, and then I'll have a lot of people watching. We have a big family. Lots of brothers and sisters, so, and nieces and nephews. But Karen's one of my customers where she hangs out more on Instagram and YouTube as opposed to Facebook. So that's why I'm going live on different places. Not everybody is on Facebook, and I understand that. It's where the majority of my customers are, but not everybody is. Okay, so now you can see that 2 shades. And then when we go over with our overlay, you'll see you've got that. It's a little more subtle, but you've got that yellow and that orange. I kind of like that. Very sunny, right? So we'll set this aside. Let that dry. We'll put that together, and I think 1 coat of that yellow is going to be enough. All right, I'm running out of spots. Okay, next up is our little mason jar mug. And isn't that cute? That has got this overlay that I did in with the blue marker, and I've already got that done on my piece. And then it's got this little, this is the overlay unfinished. Okay. Then it's got this little base piece, and that is 2 colors, or it's divided so you can do 2 colors on it. So I'm going to do the bottom part in orange, the top part in white, and I've already painted it all white. And then it's got this little scored circle, and that's for your little slice, drink slice to go into, fruit slice. And it is 2 pieces. So you can do the outer ring 1 color and the inner ring another. So I am going to go to work on this. The only part we're going to do from scratch is the little fruit. Everything else is started painted for us, so it won't take us too long. I'm going to just go right here, and we are going to go on this part here. We're going to do orange. We're going to leave this part white, and then I am going to do a darker green kind of in here and make this look like a slice of lime. So I'm going to get out my lime green. I'm going to just color in that circle first. And on here, it doesn't matter if I kind of get paint bled into that scored line, simply because it's going to be covered up by the fruit slice. Okay. Oh, we've got somebody else joined us, John. So if you're joining us, tell us your name, where you're tuning in from. I always like to hear that. It's fun for us to have people from all over joining us. During our unboxing that we did on Facebook Monday night, we had people from North Carolina, Illinois. So that was really fun. Like I said, I'm from North Dakota, but I have customers from all over the U.S. Hopefully you can hear okay. I went over the line, but not a huge deal. It's juice, right? I can always go back in with my white marker and clean that up. And this will look much better once it's all put together. There we go. All right. And I went a little over here on the handle, but that really doesn't matter because that handle's going to go right over it. So I'm going to clean up this little overage that I got with the orange. My white marker. There. And while I have my white marker out, I am going to do this inner ring of the fruit slice. I'm going to do that in white, and I am going to use lime green on the outer ring. All right. Outer and inner. So a couple ways you can do this kit is, tonight we're doing it project by project, but sometimes when people get our kits, they like to, oh, thanks Karen for letting me know the sound is good. They like to lay everything out that they're going to paint blue together and do all of that. Everything they're going to do yellow together, and they'll do all of that. Everything they're doing with the markers in one spot, they'll do all that. And then just bring it all together. When I teach, I just teach project by project so that people will see how everything goes together, and then they can find their own way. We're crafters, right? And so everybody has their own way. So I say, watch, take my suggestions, and if you want to do something different and try something different, by all means do it. I'm here to guide, show you some techniques, things like that. So you have lots of options when it comes to completing a kit. I love to see, we do have a Facebook group for the kit. Once you become a member, you'll have an invite to that. And I love to see how other people paint their kits. And then sometimes if they, don't want to share them, they'll just email me and say, here's what I did or whatever. But I do like to see how everybody finishes up their kits. It's interesting to me. I love crafting, obviously. So it's fun to see how everybody does stuff. Okay, so this one's done. It just has to dry. Then we'll put it together. But we've got the green and the green, the white, the blue overlay, and then multicolored insert. So we'll set this one aside. So next we have got our sunshine. And here is what our sunshine looks like. Okay. And when it comes, it's got a scored little spot for the mouth and a scored spot so you can see right where to put your sunglasses. And it's got a ring around in the middle. and that's scored. And what we're going to do is I've taken the liberty of already doing kind of an orangey yellow on the whole thing, and then I'm going to color the insert of it just a little bit of a different color, and we will use our markers on the sunglasses and on the little lips. So I'm going to set the unfinished one aside. We won't need that one here in a minute. This is the finished one. We'll go to work on that first. And on the sunglasses, I am going to use my blue marker on the outside and my black marker on the in. So I'm going to just take my orange marker and I am going to just color this, and you'll see that it's just a little bit of a different color orange because suns are usually a little brighter in one spot and then darker. They're usually several, I like to see them in several shades of oranges and yellows. And when I go over this, I'm just trying to stay within that circle first, and then I'll color more. And I don't really have to worry about going in where the glasses are going to go or where the lips are going to go. So basically, I just have to do a coloring job everywhere where there is not an outline. But if I go a little bit into them, it's not a huge deal. This one looks super messy until you get it put together at the end. All right. See what we're doing for time here. 44 minutes. Every day we go about an hour. Try to keep it under, but it doesn't always work. Okay. But after this, we just have one more project. And then we'll just glue everything together and we'll be done for the night. You can see the different colors coming through. And I need to get a little closer here. There we go. Now, on that tiny little part of the lips, they have the adhesive backing as well, like these did. And reason being is they're just so darn tiny that you want to have that flexibility. I don't like putting the adhesive backing on big pieces because the big pieces are kind of one and done. If you have that adhesive backing, you don't have any work time with them. It's nice to have a little work time with some of the bigger pieces with the glue. And you do not get work time with the sticker, but they're good for the small, precise things that you can put on your project and that you don't want glue sticking out. So these are going to be two different colors, and I'm going to do, and these insides of the glasses just pop right out, so it makes it super easy to paint the glasses. Set him aside for a second. Get our glasses down on here. And then we'll get our hearts down and do the lips. Let's make another little thing for the lips. Make sure I'm coloring the right side. There's a smoother side that has the adhesive on it. Okay, so I'm doing these in the blue on the outside, and then the inside is going to be black. Really dark shades for our Mr. Sunshine. So I'm wondering, like, if you do small crafts like this, do you have a tier tray you like to display them on? Do you just have a shelf? I like to put mine on the mantle, and I like to also, I've got a coffee bar, and I like to put things on that from time to time. That's where I like my small items. The other thing I like to do is I will make tiered trays out of different things, or I'll find them at Hobby Lobby or things like that. I'll show you one here I found. I found a really cute plant stand at Hobby Lobby that I'm using for a tiered tray. I'll show you real quick. It's this little thing here, and I'll show you at the end, but it's cute, and everything right now is like 40 or 50% off that's in their spring store. Oh, I forgot to bring up red. I will just do purple instead. I have purple lips. Okay. But I like to find things to go with it at like that, or when I get them on discount. That's kind of nice. Okay. There you go. And now we are going to do those black. And like I said, you get a black in your set with this kit. So that is nice. You don't have to go out and get that. And the black and the white, like I said, you're going to use them on nearly every set that I send out. Every kit, you need to use the black and white. What the white is great for is little accents and that type of thing as well. If you want to get, you know, a little white of somebody's eye in an eye or something like that. That's what the white is great for. Okay, so that one is all painted up, and that is going to be ready to put together. I'm going to set that aside, and we are going to get working on our last project, which is the garland. And the garland is a fun little piece. Like I said, it's got the little theme beads, and then it's got the white finished, pre-finished tag, and then it's got the word summer and the word welcome on here, and a little sunshine, and then on the other side we've got another little sun, bigger sun. And that's all there is to this one. And to paint it up is going to be super quick. I've already taken the liberty of painting this whole part that sunny, or that kind of a yellowy orange, and then I'm going to do the ring in yellow and the middle in orange. And the fun thing about this sun is it comes to you like this, all taped together, so you don't lose the parts, but they're separate. So it makes it super easy to paint. So I'm going to do that ring yellow in the center, the orange, and I'm just going to use paint markers for that. Okay. So yellow ring. And like I said, with the lighter colors of the markers, they really do go on a bit better if they've got some paint behind them. It makes them pop a little bit. Oh, Karen has chimed in one more time. She says she loves her Arteza markers. Such great colors in that 40 color set. Yes, and she puts hers on the mantle as well when she does hers. She had shared with me too with her Arteza markers, and this is just that company has just great customer service, but she had a duplicate of one color and was missing a color. And she had bought her set months and months ago, but she called them just to see if she could get, I think she was missing just the basic orange and had 2 shades of like the fluorescent orange. And just wondering if she could just get the orange markers. You know, she took a picture of her set and showed them that she just didn't have that one color. Well, for some reason, they didn't have any just regular orange singles. And so they sent her a whole nother set of markers. So if you live out in Seattle and want to craft, you can go to Karen's house and share her markers because she's got 2 sets now. So, but that was really neat, I thought, because, you know, she had bought them maybe a year ago. Wasn't it something like that, Karen? And then they sent her a whole new set. So that was awesome. You just don't expect that from a company anymore. Customer service for so many companies has went by the wayside. So that's nice and enjoyable to hear a story about one that, you know, takes it serious. So look at that. We've got our 3 colors in there. That looks sharp. And set this one aside. Don't need that. We'll do our summer. We're going to do our summer in our pretty blue again. Fluorescent blue is gorgeous, and it goes on in one coat very nicely. Our tag will be all ready to put together. We get our beads strung. We'll just kind of work our way backwards and get all our parts put together. Now this summer, like the other one, has got our adhesive backing on it. Again, so it's super easy to adhere, as does this little sun that we're going to color. Great. Just going to kind of get in here and make sure I've got everything. If you see the top of my head, just me with my eyes kind of coming in to make sure I've got it all colored in. Looks good. Okay. That one is done. All right. Now we just have this teeny little 2-piece mini sun, and I'm going to do the middle in orange and the outer in our brighter yellow. And one coat, I'm sure, is all we're going to need on this. I don't like color by numbers. You just pop it apart and color, and you just get such a nice, neat finished project like that. Don't have to worry about things bleeding over. And here's our outer bright, sunny yellow. Sometimes with yellow, you do need a second coat. This is going to be pretty good, though. All right. So we've got that. Stick that in there. Now, while that is drying, I'm going to go ahead and get our garland strung. Eventually, you're going to need your scissors and everything, but basically, the part we're going to work on now is our beads. So we have got this little D-ring that is going to be what we hook into our interchangeable base garland. And then you have a flip-flop bead. This one's green. This one comes with pink. You're going to get whatever color I packed for you because I only had so many of each color. A yellow, a blue, a white, a green, a pink, and a natural. I do not paint my natural beads. Some people do. You could put it on a toothpick or a bent over paper clip and just paint it with a brush. They're a hassle for me to paint, so that's why I buy you pretty colored ones, so you know, and I mix in some natural ones in there. But we're going to go ahead and get that strung up, and then after we get that strung up, we can put our parts on, and then we can attach everything, and that one is going to be ready to roll. So the easiest way I have found to string these beads is to use a bread twist tie from like a bread bag or a I don't know, a baggie or whatever. And the hole in the flip-flop is super small. So I am just taking my scissor and trimming away on either side of the wire to give myself basically a nice thin needle that is going to go through that hole in that bead. Try not to cut myself. And that is probably going to work. And you get a nice, I always give you way more string than you need because I like working with, rather to have too much than not enough, right? And I work with a double width of the string. So I am going to first attach it to the D-ring. And I'm just going to take the loop and put it through the D-ring. And I'm just going to grab that string and loop it through. No need to tie a knot or anything. Whoop. And it will just attach. Did not want to work for me. Hold on. There we go. And then I just pull it. Okay. And now that's on there. Now I'm going to take my string I'm going to do the same order as the one here. So the first thing I have up against the D-ring is the flip-flop bead, and that's got the smallest opening. So once we get through that, it's going to be super easy to thread all our beads because, and I just put I doubled up my little twist tie, and I'm just feeding it through the flip-flop. Okay. And that's just right up against that D-ring. Next, I'm going to string on my yellow. Then I'm going to string on my blue, my white, my green, my pink, and my natural. Okay. I'm going to set this aside for just a second, but this is what the end result looks like. Okay. And we're going to get our tag assembled. So the first thing we're going to do is the welcome summer. We've got the little sun in the middle of the sun that comes up right above the word welcome. What are we doing here? We're almost an hour. Thank you for hanging with me. I'm trying to go as fast as we can, but I also want to be careful. Now I'm just peeling the adhesive off, and this is the hardest part of the project, is getting the adhesive started. Sometimes you need to, there we go. Get it right up close so you can see what you're doing. All right. Set that aside. Okay, so we've got our welcome with sunshine, and we're going to just eyeball where the word summer goes. It kind of just goes the whole width of it, and we'll get it kind of as straight as we can. And I have just pulled that adhesive right off the word. Make a garbage pile over here. It's out of my way. Okay, and this has got that adhesive on it. It's a very thin 3M adhesive, so it's very strong. And once you set it down, she's done. You can see, nice and thick and sturdy. Okay, so now on the back, we are going to do the sun. The nice thing about the sun is just get right around here and then do the ring and everything, and it's going to stick. You don't have to worry about getting all to the tiny little tips. You just go ahead and use your glue. Again, this has got that fine tip applicator on it, and I'm just going to do teeny little dots all the way around. Then I'm going to kind of do a little toward the edge there, but really want to get it down. I'm going to just adhere it. I'm just eyeballing where I want it to go. It does not have to be perfect. This way, I'm not going to get a lot of leakage. And what I'm going to do once I have it down, you can use clothespins or little clamps. I just like to use my fingers and give it a good press. But the middle is completely covered, so I'm going to get that good with glue so those middle pieces will stick, especially that ring. So I'm just kind of going around and around. And it's nice and thin, so it should not ooze out at all. Okay. See how that's coming together? Everything just fits together like a puzzle. You got your nice bright sun on this side and your welcome summer on the other. And now we are going to work on looping this through. I am going to cut off some of this excess string. I just don't need quite that much of it. I'm going to loop this through and then bury our string inside the beads. All right. Got our little bread tie, twisty tie again. And we will loop that through. I even include the little bread tie for you so you don't have to go looking for one. But if you've got a needle or something that you like to use, by all means do it. Now, what I like to do is I like to go once from the bottom and come up and do a second loop from the bottom. And then I've got a nice sturdy piece of string there that isn't going to break off. It's 4 strands thick. Now I'm taking my needle and I'm going up through back up through a couple of the beads. And I'm going to leave just a little bit of slack because we are going to tie a bow with our ribbon here. And we need a little bit of room between this last bead and the top of the tag. Came off again. And the bow just kind of sets things off and adds a little bit to it. So I'm going up through 1 bead, 2 beads, and I think I'll go up 1 more. This is just how I finish mine off. I've done lots of garlands, and I feel like this kind of works the best. Okay, so now I'm going to take my needle off, and on this side, I'm going to just do a 1 loop of a double knot, okay, or a single knot. Then I'm going to flip this over on the other side, keeping the string in the middle. So now I'm on the other side, and I am going to do, move that up a little bit, a double knot here. That way you have got this 2 strands wrapped around the 2 strands in the middle and knotted, and it's going to stay secure. I'm going to snip this as close to the knot as I dare. Set that aside in my garbage pile, and then that knot does not show up. It's buried inside those beads. Now for my ribbon, I like to take this and find my middle. And I like to give it a twist. This ribbon has a wire in it, so it always will keep its shape, but I like to just kind of have a twist in the middle. Makes it easier to tie around. So I'm just going to tie it around between the top of that tag and that natural bead. Okay, and I just give it, now it's nice and snug. Okay, a little bit of extra ribbon here. I like to do a bird's beak. You could just do a slanted angle too, but basically to do the bird's beak, this is the fold and this is the wire, and I cut up and away from myself. Okay, and then I just try to match that on the other side. And then I just like to fuss with this and shape it. Now, your ribbon could fray. If it does fray, you can take your super glue and just do a super fine bead like that to keep it from fraying. Or you can take a lighter and just lightly singe it. And then that does the same thing. You just need to do it super fast though. You don't want to set your ribbon on fire. Okay, so this one is done. You've got your welcome summer and your sunshine and your decorative beads, and that's ready to hang onto your garland that we showed in the beginning. I'll just grab that quick. This is the finished one that we showed in the beginning, and see how this D-ring just goes right onto this clasp. All right, so we've got our garland is done. Get some of this out of the way. Okay, that is done. Next, we will put our sunshine together. And he has got to have his glasses put on and his lips. So his glasses can go on first, and it is scored right where they need to go. See that? These are super thin, and you really only need a drop right here on the bridge and maybe a little right here and a little right here. When we glue on the middles, we'll be able to get to make sure it adheres all around. But I am just lining that up as best as I can with that scored line. Just going to bring it close to myself. And what it does is it completely covers that scored line. You don't see it anymore. I'm going to just press this down, and while I'm pressing it, I'm going to put a generous amount of glue. I like to go along the edges, inside edges, and then on the inside for the hearts. And it doesn't matter what heart goes in which side. They're the same size. Okay. Now he is almost done. We'll get his lips on. Looking pretty cool. Just better that way. Kind of like we're working upside down and backwards, huh? Okay, so what I like to do for this is get this little part. Remember, this has got the self-adhesive on it. Get that exposed. And you could use your tweezers. I just hold this up really close to here and here. Okay, that upper lip is done. And I don't know why I did the upper lip black. It just kind of looks, I don't know, like he's got an open mouth or something. Just the way I did it. I felt like doing it. Oh, really cute projects. Thank you, Karen. Okay. Oh, I like that purple on him, though. That's cute. Okay. The other one had red lips. I don't know what you like better, but purple's cute, too. Okay. So he is done. And you can kind of see once you get everything painted how quickly everything kind of comes together. Here's our Hello Summer. So we are just going to get that lined up as best we can in the middle for the hello, kind of toward the top. The nice thing about these words, they're just a little bit crooked. So if you get them on there crooked, it's really not a huge deal. I'm just eyeballing this to the middle and going just slightly below it with the hello. Again, that word is self-adhesive, as is the word summer. And the self-adhesive parts do make it quite easy. You get a nice clean look. You don't get glue oozing out of your skinny little pieces. And it just makes for a nice finished project. I think if you do all the projects in this kit, there's like, there's 7 for each season, and there's 7 for each set, and there's 3 sets in there. So that's 21. And then you have got the 3 base pieces, so that's 24. And the garland tag is double-sided, so that's actually 3 more projects. So that's how we get to 27 projects. But you can see how once you get going in an afternoon, you could easily get 1 kit completed. You know, you just kind of work and paint things, let things dry, paint something else while things are drying, and then it goes super fast. Okay. We've got our beach ball. And for this, it's kind of a nice thick backer. I'm just doing teeny little drops of glue along here. Again, you're getting some tube of gel super glue. And you can use, I will show you quick. You can use on the gel super glue if you need, it's got a precise applicator, not quite as small as this. But if you put a little bit of glue on the end of a toothpick and then put it on your project, you get a nice small dot as well. So if you need to be super precise, it's easy with either kind. It does tend to dry clear anyway, so. Now I'm just going to make sure I have my scored lines lined up in the proper spot, which I do. And with these round pieces, what I like to do is get them on a flat surface and just hold them together to make sure I've got my ends meeting up. And sometimes when you paint, I don't know if you can see that, there's a little bit of that yellow coming through. You'll get some on the edges. And it's very easy to just fix that up. If you don't like that, you can take your black marker and just kind of go in there like that. And then that takes care of it. And then you don't have that little extra bleeding out. Okay? Got that done. We are rolling. We've got our mug to put together. Okay. Here is our mug. This is what our finished one looks like. First thing I'm going to do is just get my overlay on there. Get that taken care of. Again, I'll show you what I'm talking about. You might see a little bit of white here or there. If you line it up really good, you won't. But if you have any on the end, then you would just take your marker. And the other thing you can do with the white is take your marker and just do a very thin bead of the black, because that overlay is going to cover that up. And you won't get any coming out the side. Super small area. And you can go around in the orange too, because the overlay goes around the whole area. And it just gives you a nicer finished look once you get it all glued together. And that's just a fussy little trick. You don't necessarily have to do that, but I sell my finished projects at craft fairs, and so I like them to have a nice finished look. And I don't know who's all out there watching, but if you've ever been to one of the craft fairs that I do, they're super fun. We have a fun booth. We have lots of fun products, a lot of fun finished mini decor, and we mainly do them in the holiday season. And I'm getting signed up for those right now. In fact, my biggest one is right here in my hometown of Grand Forks, and I signed up for that one today. It's called Pride of Dakota, and that's just an association of handmade businesses or North Dakota-owned businesses that make products, I should say. They can also be manufacturing and agriculture. Like there's people in there that grow their own cattle and beef and that type of thing. There's people like me that make things. There's wineries, all that type of thing. And they have big shows throughout the whole entire state. And I do the one here in my hometown of Grand Forks. I do one in Fargo, and I do one in Bismarck. And they are great shows, and it's fun to be a part of. Okay, that's coming together great. It's going to look even better. I do the outer ring first. And I do just a couple drops there, and mostly kind of try to get it on the inside so it won't ease out the outside, because the inside's going to have that insert in it. So that needs glue too. And we have this little circle for placement, which is perfect. So that looks like a big green blob right now, but it's looking neater. Okay, get a little bit of glue now on this one, mostly in the middle and a little bit around the outer edge. Get that up close so you can kind of see. It's such a tiny little piece, though. It's a little hard to see. And then that just fits right in there. And look at how nice that looks. Okay, that's done. Cooking here. All right, we have got our shoes or our flip-flops. And that's just a 2-piece project, super easy. I'm doing a little bit on our edges, super teeny tiny drops. And I like to take and just line things up, again, using my hands as a guide, making sure I don't have anything sticking out from the color, the bottom, and everything's lined up. Cleaning up the edges if I've got any glue oozing out. There we go. These are cute. They'd be cute if you did little polka dots on them or something too. I've never done that, but that would be cute. Those are good. And we are, last one, a beach ball. Our mini ball that's going to go in the insert. And again, there is an adhesive magnet that comes in your kit for that. Let's see if I've got mine anywhere here. I do not, but I'll show you on the finished one. It's just a little adhesive magnet that's going to go on the back, and that's going to help it insert and stay in the cart. Okay. So for this, same thing. I'm going to eyeball it first of where that lines up with those scored lines. This is orange and yellow. I'm going to get, this is super teeny tiny bit of glue. There and there and there. And that's all I'm going to need. Just bringing it up close to make sure I've got my scored lines all covered, which I do. And there's that all done. Okay. And the only thing I would need to do is put a magnet on here. But I'm going to bring the cart down, tuck things in the cart and on our bases. And then I'll bring the camera back up and we will wrap it up. We've been going for about 1:20. Good Lord. Thank you for sticking with me. I'll just go over my time. Get carried away with my crafting, I guess. Okay. Take these items out of the cart. Okay. So here is the market cart. Okay. So this would normally have a magnet on it, but since it's laying down, it will stay in. There's our beach ball. Okay. We will tuck in our decor that we finished for the inside. Our flip-flops. Get our markers out of the way. Okay. Then we have got our little banner that's going to hang off the front. And these little hooks go in just like so. They go right in here and they hook in nice and snug to your opening. There we go. And that hooks right on the cart. Like that. And clips down. So that's what's going to go in the cart. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 projects. And then we have got our garland. I'll get our extra pieces out of the way here. And then we have got our round sign base. That we did. So that is project, that was 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8 things that we did. And it all comes together great. And I would love to know what you think. I'm going to just kind of prop this up. I'll hold this in since I don't have the magnet in there. I'll just put the one with the magnet in there. And I'm going to just switch us back over so we can talk face to face and end up our crafting session. So we're going to go for a little ride here for a minute. Woo! There's my lights. See if we can see my face. There, we are done. So here are our projects from tonight. Our market cart, our round sign, and our garland. Okay, I'm going to say good night now. Thank you for joining me. It was really fun. If you have any questions, go ahead and just drop a comment in the description box below this video where it says comment. I'll gladly get back to you. If you're interested in our subscription box, you can find the information to get on the wait list below. I appreciate you attending, and feel free to share this with your friends. Give the video a like and subscribe to the channel so you'll know when we go live more often. Thank you for joining us and have a great night. Good night, everyone.